All right, guys, we're going to do a new method. I love this method because it makes it go so much faster, but you have to know your factors and what number goes into other numbers. So this is called the sled method because the numbers are going to be put into a sled. So on your board, let's write 24, 20, let's do it. You know what, let's change that color. Okay, that was 8. Okay, 24 and 40. All right, you wrote the 24 and 40? Let's put them in a sled. Now, what does it look like? It looks like an upside down division sign. Well, that's exactly what it is. It's an upside down division sign. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull out factors that are in common. Well, let's look at 24 and 40. There's a lot of numbers that go into 24. They also go into 40. You could do a 2. You could do a 4. You could do an 8. There's lots of numbers, 2, 4, and 8. Actually, there's only 3. But let's pick one number that goes into 24 and 40. Well, one number I can think of we said was 8. 8 goes into 24 3 times, and 8 goes into 40 5 times. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out a factor of 8. So that means we're going to divide both of those numbers by 8. Well, what's 24 divided by 8? 3. Now, instead of putting the number at the top, the 3 at the top, you're going to put it underneath. So we're going to put the 3 underneath. Now, look at the 40. What's 40 divided by 8? Well, 40 divided by 8 is, that's right, 5. Put the 5 underneath. Now, now let's look at 3 and 5. Is there any other factor that goes into both 3 and 5? Well, 3 goes into 3, but 3 doesn't go into 5. 1 goes into 3, and 1 goes into 5. Now, 1 really doesn't help us, so as soon as we only get to 1, we're going to put a doorstop. And we're going to put a doorstop right there, because the only thing that goes into 3 and 5 is 1, so we have to stop. Now, this is so cool, because guess what? The number that is written that I've pulled out, see that 8 right there? That number in front of the sled, hey guys, is your GCF. Look, look, look. It's your GCF. That is your GCF. Isn't that cool? But wait a minute. What happens if we didn't pull out an 8? What happens if we did something different? Well, let me erase this. Let's do it a little bit differently. Instead of using an 8, let's use a different number. Let's on your board, don't erase. I want you to put another 24 and 40. Okay, now put them in sled. But this time, let's not pull out a factor of 8. Think of another number that goes into 24 and 40. Well, what about 4? Let's pull out a 4. Okay, so what's 24 divided by 4? Okay, it's 6, so we're going to pull out a 6. Now, what's 40 divided by 4? That's right, 10. Now, look at the 6 and the 10. Is there another number that is a factor of both 6 and 10? Now, they're even. So if they're even, I can pull out a factor of 2. Now, get your calculators and check. 6 divided by 2, 10 divided by 2. Yeah, that works. So let's pull out a factor of 2. So I'm going to do another sled. And this time, I'm going to pull out a factor of 2. Now, what do you have left? 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. All right, think. Is there any other factor that I can pull out of 3 and 5 besides 1? Nope, nothing else, because they are actually both prime. You remember that from elementary school, prime. Only factors are 1 and itself. So I'm going to put my doorstop. All right, now think. Is there a way that I can get 8 with both 4 and 2? What do you have to do? That's right. you have to multiply because the opposite of division is multiplication. What's 4 times 2? 8. Hey guys, that's your GCF. So it didn't matter if I pulled out an 8 or if I pulled out a 4 and a 2. You still get a factor of 8. But Miss Cassidy, what if I didn't pull out a 4? If I pulled out another number? Well, that's a great question. Let's erase this. Let's do it again. All right, ready? Here we go. Let's do it again, and I want you to write down. Let's scroll down a little bit. And this time I want you to write 24 and 40. But this time I want you to pull out a factor of, what do you think? 2. All right. Okay, let's pull a factor of 2. What do I have? 12 and, that's right, 20. Because 24 divided by 2 is 12. 40 divided by 2 is 20. All right. Now, is there another thing that goes into 12 and 20? Yes, another 2. So let's pull out a 2. And what are you left with? 12 divided by 2 is 6, that's right. And 20 divided by 2 is 10. All right, hey, now look. Do you see up here? Do you see there? Isn't that the same thing as 6 and 10? Huh, look at that. Is there another factor that I can pull out of 6 and 10? Yep, I can pull what out? Another 2. All right, what are you left with? That's right, 3 and 5. Now, wait a minute. Isn't it the 3 and 5 every single time? Let's look. Wasn't it 3 and 5 there? Yep. 3 and 5 there? Yep. And now it is 3 and 5 there. Every time it ended up with 3 and 5. Now, let's look at the factors that I pulled out that are in common. Now, we said earlier that my GCF was what? It was 8. How do I get 8 from 2, 2, and 4? And I can't add. No, that gives me 6. No. Wait a minute. What if I multiply? 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. You get the GCF again. It doesn't matter how you do it or what numbers you pull out. As long as they are the factors, you will get the GCF of 8. Let's try another one.